You're beautiful, you're intelligent, you're so famous, you're a legend in your own time.
I think she stands for a lot of things in people's minds.
She is a very talented person from within and without.
Goddess, bitch, media superstar. She's the most famous personality in the world, with hundreds of millions of fans across the globe. She's a versatile artist, as well as a bona fide media mogul. She's a superstar among superstars, a figure so famous, so infamous, she's known the world over by her first name alone, Madonna.
Hollywood, California, capital of the entertainment world, and the queen of that world is Madonna. Hi, I'm Mark Bego, and nearly 10 years ago I wrote the very first biography about Madonna. Within weeks of its release, it sold 1 million copies. Since that time, the world has watched Madonna rise from a mere pop sensation to her current status as the undisputed goddess of mass entertainment.
But superstardom doesn't come easy, and Madonna knows it. She clings to her supreme status with the ferocity and control of a dictator who suspects a palace coup at any moment. For Madonna, fame itself is power. As long as she can keep them guessing as to what she's going to do next, as long as the world gives a damn, Madonna's monarchy will remain unchallenged. She plays her millions of fans like Itzhak Perlman plays a concerto, with style and with gusto. In the next hour, we're going to look at this incredible phenomenon known as Madonna. We'll hear comments from her fans, her impersonators, her would-be impersonators, her brother, her ex-lover, her former husband, and of course, we'll hear from the goddess herself in rarely seen interview footage. We'll examine the high price of fame and how Madonna has coped with it over the past decade. Plus, we'll let you in on a few surprises that might come as a shock to even the Queen of Shock herself. We're going to go in depth into the world of a performer whose love affair with the camera has made her the most famous woman on earth. This is the story of Madonna, the name of the game.
For Madonna, fame is the name of the game. As much as she's in love with fame, though, she is not consumed by it. She realizes that much of maintaining celebrityhood is marketing and very careful self-promotion. As much of a naturally gifted showwoman as she is, Madonna realizes that it takes a lot more than just talent to stay on top.
She often gets up before dawn to begin a rigorous exercise program in her own private gym. Her workout also includes jogging with her bodyguard in Central Park. Madonna often puts in 4 hours of exercise, not every week, but every day. She's constantly on the cutting edge of fashion, like this Marilyn Monroe look. But mere physical appearance isn't the secret to Madonna's overwhelming success.
Excuse me?
Why do you think you've had so much success?
Because I work hard.
When she's doing a concert tour, she works her performers relentlessly. Everybody stays on the job until the moves are just right. But even her hardest working employees agree that nobody works harder than the Queen herself. When it comes to making a feature film, we're talking 16-hour days that start at 7 in the morning and last well into the night. In addition to her breakneck schedule as a performer and an artist, Madonna devotes a considerable amount of time to running her empire. With that much happening, it seems like Madonna would barely have a chance to relax, let alone take her clothes off. But she even manages that with the greatest of style. We talked to Madonna's older brother, Martin CICCONE, an aspiring rap artist, and he told us that Madonna's had a hard-working streak since her childhood.
I don't know, it was like she was working overtime from Jump Street, you know what I mean? And there was no inclination that she would be famous or a great performer at that time. And I'm not going to tell you any stupid like, I knew she was different, you know, from the beginning. I ain't gonna go through that, because that's bullshit. But, because who knew? You know what I mean? But, she was one hell of a provider.
And Madonna still provides plenty. And not just in terms of her own artistic contributions. She spawned a virtual cottage industry of theme products, from authorized souvenirs to distinctly unauthorized merchandise. She's provided fodder for the electronic media as well, making work a little easier for everyone, from commentators to joke writers.
Anyhow, they claim that Madonna and Michael Jackson, as you know, are getting ready to make a record together, and the title is going to be Justify My Glove. And
Wherever you turn these days, you're surrounded by Madonna mania. But there was a time when the whole world wasn't obsessed with the material girl. That might seem like something off a page from ancient history, but it wasn't really that long ago. In fact, all you have to do is go back to 1957, when the queen of all media was born. But the question is, did she always have the earmarks of someone who would become the biggest star on Earth?
Well, I knew she was different, you know. I knew that, you know what I mean?
Whether or not she was predestined for greatness, Madonna Louise Ciccone spent her early years in the Detroit area, specifically in the suburbs of Pontiac, a town more suited to rearing prospective auto workers than pop goddesses. Her first home was in Herrington Hills, a well-kept subdivision where her father, Silvio, known to his friends as Tony, and her mother, also named Madonna, brought up their family in relative anonymity. This tiny house was home to the Ciccone clan, which eventually included 7 children. Madonna was the oldest daughter, but that didn't necessarily mean that she ruled the roost. Being one of 7 kids meant learning very fast how to get along with others.
You learn how to share, and you'll be on time for dinner, you know what I'm saying?
Madonna was to learn an even more important lesson early on in life. In 1963, her mother, Madonna, died, leaving Silvio without a helpmate, and the Ciccone kids without a parental female influence. It was about that time that the younger Madonna began to assert herself as a surrogate mom to the other children, including her older brother, Marty.
Madonna was kind of like the big girl of the family, and she took care of her younger sisters and her younger brothers as well, you know. And so it was a maternal thing also, because who the hell did we have to look to, you know?
Whether she wanted it or not, Madonna found herself with more and more responsibility around the house.
When we was little kids, she was like my father's favorite, because she was, well, not his favorite, but I mean, growing up, her being the oldest girl, she took care of everybody, you know what I mean? Like, everybody, I was older than her, but she took care of me too. She took care of everything when my mother passed away, before my father remarried, you know. She was kind of a ma of the house, so to speak, you know what I'm saying? And one time I busted a window with a rock, by mistake, of course, and she put the snitch on me. The big-time snitch. I put Vaseline in her hair when she was sleeping. Took her 3 days to get out. I took an ass for that one, I might add.
She longed to escape the blue-collar life of the suburbs, and she began setting her sights on bigger and better things. She attended this now-vacant dance studio in downtown Rochester, Michigan. It was there that she met Christopher Flynn, a dance instructor who introduced her to a side of life she had never previously experienced, including the male gay lifestyle. He escorted the young Madonna to her first gay bar, this club called Menjo's, in the city of Detroit. It was here that Madonna was first exposed to the freedom of expression and lack of inhibition she couldn't find in her small-town schoolmates. Not surprisingly, it wasn't long before she made up her mind that the only place she could go for a break was in the Big Apple. According to her own account, Madonna arrived in Manhattan and asked her cab driver to drop her off wherever the action was. Her cabbie promptly headed for Times Square, where Broadway glamour converges with hardcore sleaze. Ironically, the combination of glamour and sleaze would play a major role in Madonna's onstage persona in the years to come. As Madonna tells it, she wound up in Manhattan with a few dollars in her pocket and no place to stay.
Well, you know, you gotta remember, she didn't come from the bottom of nowhere. Because my dad took care of her, okay? She did not come from nowhere and go to New York not knowing nobody with $10 in her pocket. That's the horse story.
It doesn't matter whose story you believe. The important fact is that Madonna did claw her way to the top, and she did it in almost record time. And even found herself relocating to Europe for a short while as the protege to producer Jean-Claude Pellerin and Jean Van Loo, where she could devote virtually all of her energies towards becoming a star as the 1970s drew to a close. By 1982, she had landed her first major recording contract. By this time, there was no stopping her. She was well on her way to superstardom, and her song cemented her reputation as the music world's hottest new talent. Between records, music videos, and live concerts, Madonna's star rose faster than virtually any performer in the early 1980s. She eventually branched out into other media as well, even becoming a movie actress. With each successive year, as her film star ascended, Madonna became more and more famous, more popular, and of course, more controversial. Today, Madonna is the most successful female performer in the world. As a singer, songwriter, dancer, and actress, she has conquered every medium there is. And she always holds the creative reins on all of her pet projects. But her rise to success was accompanied by the media's constant monitoring of her personal life. Her love affair with film legend Warren Beatty, her marriage to actor Sean Penn, and her many well-publicized flirtations have made Madonna the most talked-about entertainer of the 20th century.
And coming up next, we're going to examine the private life of a very public personality. We're going to see just how much control Madonna has over a media more than eager to promote her every move when we continue with Madonna, the name of the game.